Welcome to Lost Media News. I am Lava Canyon and I will be covering 5 pieces of lost media and 1 piece of found media. Apple Pie. Apple Pie is an ABC TV sitcom that aired during 1978. The setting takes place during the Great Depression in Kansas City. The story focuses on Ginger Nell Hollyhock, who in each episode tries to find a way to make money. She marries a con man and has a tap-dancing daughter, a blind grandfather, and a son who dreams to be able to fly. The show was said to have some discourse during the shooting of the film, some actors lacking enthusiasm, and some taking the role too seriously. The show has had 7 known episodes produced, as well as a pilot. However, only 2 episodes actually end up airing.
Chief Roy gets cuffed to a con man, thrown by love, and tied up with a blonde. Then meet the family that found each other in the want ads on the...
Razwas and Bot Bot. This piece of lost media is a 3D animated Arabic children's TV show that aired on Disney Channel Arabia and NBC3 during 1999 and the early 2000s. There were 26 10-minute episodes. 8 have been archived, so that makes 18 episodes that are lost. VeggieTales Online Games. VeggieTales had a website with many online games playable on it during 2011 to 2013. There are 15 known games, such as Bob's Brain Benders, Larry's Bible Sort, and Veggie Football. Some have archived footage, however none of the game's files have been archived. Mickey's Man Friday. Mickey's Man Friday was a Mickey Mouse cartoon from the 30s. More specifically, it is the remake planned in the 40s that is the focus here, as the original is available. There is plans on producing a film containing multiple remade black and white Mickey Mouse cartoons with updated character designs. The film was never made, though some remade cartoons were still done, such as Orphan's Benefit. It is unsure if any animation was done with Mickey's Man Friday, and if any other shorts have had concept art made for them. Jellybees. Jellybees is an Australian cartoon which aired on ABC Kids in Australia, Kindernet in Netherlands, GMTV in UK, Fox Family in US, and Treehouse in Canada. The cartoon is about 6 jelly bears having to learn something, sometimes using a contraption called a jellyscope to help. There have been 95 5-minute cartoons in all. There are a few English episodes online scattered around, in varying quality, and a few more in other language.
Ever seen it quite as windy as this? Fancy, hadn't you better slow down a bit?
There is a notable piece of found media from this month. This found media is the unreleased build of South Park for the Game Boy Color. It was a puzzle game planned for release in 1998, though Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, decided not to due to the Game Boy Color being marketed towards children. The story follows Stan, Kyle, and Eric trying to repeatedly save Kenny from certain perils, though each rescue attempt ended in Kenny's death in a similar vein to the show. The game was unreleased, however it was repurposed for 2 other games, Mayor the Bee and The New Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley. The user by the name of Dat Cool Dude contacted the developer of the game and was able to procure the ROM and release it. The unidentified section of the Lost Media Wiki forums is a place for users to post media that they remember but can't confirm the existence of. Here is the most interesting one from this month. Brace yourselves, as this one is pretty detailed, however very interesting. Stop motion short about circus clown who hangs himself. This is something of a long shot, but this has been bugging me for years. I saw this one-off stop-motion animated short film circa mid-1980s, I'd say sometime between 1985 to 1987. On the Irish state TV broadcaster RTE. I'm 100% sure that it was not an Irish production. RTE used to show a lot of bizarre shorts and animations in the early to mid-80s, usually as filler between programs. A lot of Eastern European cartoons and the likes of the Hollis and Bachelor Autobahn short and Roger Glover's Butterfly Ball, that sort of thing. The short I'm talking about was stop-motion animation and it followed a circus clown. If my memory serves me correctly, it started off with him performing in front of an unseen audience in a circus ring. You could hear them laughing but not see them. The next scene followed him in his dressing room, removing his makeup in front of a mirror. He might have been smoking, but the overall impression was he was quite, world weary and kind of cynical. Next scene, from what I recall, showed him calling into a chemist, drugstore, and buying something. I'm quite certain there was some dialogue in English in this scene. Next, he was again performing his circus act, and when it showed him in the dressing room, he found that he could not wash off his clown makeup. He keeps washing at his face, but the makeup would not come off. From what I remember of what came next, the clown was walking through along the street with a long coat and hat and a scarf covering his face. Then we saw him at a funeral or a wake. We see him going up to the coffin. I have a funny feeling it was an open coffin, but can't be certain. He kneels down by the coffin and starts weeping. Next, the scarf slips off his face and the unseen mourners start laughing at him. He recoils from the laughter and runs out. The exact sequence of events I'm not 100% sure, but possibly it showed him running through the streets trying to, in vain, to hide his face to the sounds of the laughter. I have no doubt about how it ended though, as it stuck with me for years. The final scene shows the circus ring in semi-darkness, with laughter coming from the unseen audience. Next, the lights come up and the clown is in his costume, hanging from a rope. The sound of the laughter dies off, and I remember you could hear a creaking sound as the clown swung slowly on the noose. The lights came down and it ended. I can't recall the credits. This is not a creepypasta memory, yet I can't find reference to anything resembling this online. I've queried on boards.ie, an Irish online site, to no avail. Can anyone confirm what this short was? I'd estimate it was between 5 to 10 minutes in length. As to when it was made, I'd certainly say 1970s onwards. Its nationality is harder to say. There was some dialogue in English, but it could have been dubbed. It had a quite European feel to it. I'd say it certainly wasn't something that was made with kids in mind. The whole feel of it was very bleak and existential. Another odd detail that I seem to remember is that I'm pretty sure there wasn't any incidental music in it. Sound in it was very noticeable, like the aforementioned creaking of the rope that the clown hung himself with. Thinking about the scene in the drugstore again, the chemist had a mustache and I remember him saying something to the clown. Take 20, or something very close. Basically, it was the amount of whatever the now off-duty clown was buying. It could have been take 30 or take 40, just speculation, but maybe tied into the funeral wake the clown was later going to. This post was made by DarkDubH. Seems very odd. It does give the impression of a creepypasta story, but it definitely feels interesting enough to keep an eye out for. The original post can be found in the description. That is the highlights I could find this time. If there is a notable event that happened recently that you think should be mentioned next time, make a comment on the latest Lost Media news video. It will help out in multiple ways. And check out the Lost Media wiki. If you're aching for more Lost Media videos, there is a video about 5 unreleased Nintendo games from Rares.